Hello. I thought I would just come a little bit early and check my sounds and make sure everything's working. And I'm going to check on my mobile as well, just see if the sound and all is working, and that's okay. Hi, Amanda. Can you hear me? While your reply pops up. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Kirsten. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Um, I'm just going to start looking at the comments here um, on my mobile just so I can keep track because it's hard to keep track here on the laptop as I speak. And I just want to double check that my audio is working, so bear with me. You can see and hear me. Thank you, Kirsten. Thanks for confirming. Thank you. Well, we are about a minute early, so I might just um, wait and see if there's others who join in. I'm sure Christina will be here very soon. Hi, Marissa. How are you all doing? Um, I was up till quite late last night, so I wasn't able to catch Alicia and Christina's lives, but I am going to watch the replay. Oh, thank you, Amanda. You're always kind to me. Thank you. Um, it's the lockdown hair. I haven't had it chopped back like I usually do. So it's just there. Um, so today it is on the dot of 12, and I should keep these mobile comments working. Um, I'm wondering if I should get started or should I wait for others to come in? This isn't working on my mobile, not quite sure why. Um, just gonna check. Okay. Hi, Christina. I was just wondering whether I should start, but I knew that you would be here very shortly. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Um, and I've confirmed that everyone can hear me and can see me. The only thing I can't do is, for some reason, the comments, I can't get that FB open on my mobile phone again. So to keep track of the comments. So bear with me, team. I will I will try and keep track of the comments on the right as we go. At the moment, it seems to be working fine. So it is just after 12 noon, so maybe I will kick off and thank you to everyone for being here. I really appreciate that you have turned up and taken the time out of your schedules. Hey, Renee. Um, my name is Mrinal, and quite a few of you who are already here know me, but I will just um, tell you a little bit about myself, just so those who watch the replay, they can sort of get familiar with me as well. So my name is Mrinal, and at the moment, my passion is, helping people achieve soul growth or work towards soul growth, not achieve, but work towards soul growth, karma transformation, just help them spiritually to move to those next steps, closer and closer to karma clearing. So, um, this constant cycle of rebirth and, having to take birth to work on the traumas um, that we have trapped and that keep dogging us in our lifetime after lifetime, um, a little bit of that is mitigated. That's my aim. So to support that, for me to be here at this stage, I have done a lot of work on myself. I have done a lot of learning. My introduction was with Reiki to the spirituality and metaphysical work, moving on to crystals and past life healing with this special modality that I offer. It's called crystal dreaming. And I also studied acupuncture, but I don't practice it anymore because I just want to focus on this metaphysical healing. So I've been doing this for a while now, Reiki, or don't quote me on dates because I'm really bad with timelines. Um, I travel through time and space, so it figures that I lose track of the years and the physical timelines. But this is even before I came to Australia that I became a Reiki master teacher. So this is going back to pre 97, pre 97. So I've been on this journey myself for a while. So that's me. I am based in Melbourne and I do see clients face to face here in Melbourne, limited clients, Saturday afternoons. But most of my work now is online, and that's the way I like it because then it's not limiting me geographically. Um, I work with several handles. So one of my handles is Alchemy with Mrinal, where I focus on creating transformations for people, and the other one is more focused on past life healing, shamanic journeying to clear the karma, clear trapped cellular trauma, and that is crystal dreaming, um, Melbourne or crystal dreaming with Mrinal. Hi, Caitlin. Thank you for being here. We're just getting started. So that's me, and a little bit about what I'm going to talk about today. My topic today is happy tea out of the Karma Kettle, and the introduction that I've given you, hopefully, um, hopefully you understand why I'm leading to happy tea out of the Karma Kettle, because I'm all about, clearing trapped cellular trauma, identifying it, clearing the karma surrounding it, and we're going to talk about that today. So if you have any questions along the way, just pop them in the chat and I'll try and keep track of the chat as well. Um, but it may not be instantaneous because, as you know, it does take a little time for things to pop up in the chat. So the first thing I want to talk about is why. Why am I talking about this? What is cellular trauma to begin with? What is cellular memory? What do I mean when I say, it is trapped? And what do I mean when I say, oh, it leads to karma? Um, well, just think about yesterday, okay? Just think about one day, or just think about today. Like for me, it is daytime, but for you all, it is evening. So you've already, for those of you in the US, it's evening. So you've already spent the whole day. So just think about your day. Think about all the millions of emotions that you went through, the many interactions you had during the day with people, with yourself, things like you might have felt, oh, I'm getting angry about this, or this keeps happening and it's pushing my buttons, it's triggering me. So all of that has the potential to get trapped as a memory in our cells. And the memory has the potential to get transferred from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime to whatever body, whatever um, whatever form your soul takes lifetime after lifetime, that memory has the potential to get transferred over. So when this memory gets transferred over, and every time you have this interaction with yourself or with someone, that interaction creates a connection between those two participants, either yourself or someone else. And that interaction that creates that connection, that is your karmic connection. So that kinda, if it's a strong enough emotional response, that creates this connection that is embedded deeply. And in order for us to move forward, we need to clear it. That interaction, that connection, that trapped um, response around that interaction needs to be first of all revealed and then looked at and then whoosh sent away so that we move forward with a clear slate. So that is what I mean by karma clearing and the connection between cellular trauma, um, emotional responses, and our karmic journeys. So basically, there's a lot of research being done, and there's a lot of opinions about this as well. Is cellular memory real? What is cellular trauma? Is it real? Um, is karma real? Is lifetime after lifetime real? Or is it just this one lifetime? So there's always various opinions around these, and I'm not here to talk about, what is right or what is wrong, because this isn't something that we can prove. We can't do a double blind study and prove one way or the other. It is just based on our belief system and what we experience. And I have to say, in all the shamanic journeys that I have led, I have seen some amazing things that are beyond what I could possibly create in my own imagination. Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin to create things like that. So I, for one, know that these things are real. I believe that they're real. The other way I feel, the other reason why I feel it's real, all of this cellular memory, cellular trauma, karma, lifetimes, is because there have been times when I have done crystal dreaming sessions and shamanic journeys for others who are themselves psychics and shamans. And the fun part of it was whatever I was seeing during that journey is what they were reporting. So even though we were not the same person, we're different people, but we were talking and experiencing and seeing similar situations in that shamanic journey. So the first time it happened, it sent a chill up my spine. It's like, can this be real? Again, for some of you who know me from before, I gave a talk last year as well. You will possibly remember that I have a background in science. So I studied I studied zoology, so I have a bachelor's in science, and so everything that I look at is through the lens of science. And I'm the worst skeptic. Even though I do this stuff, I'm still skeptical. I still question myself. And when things like this happen, imagine what I am seeing is what the person in front of me is describing without any prior communication. That's it. And that is just amazing. That to me is like, oh my God, yeah, this has to be real. Whether I like it or not, whether I believe it or not, it is real. Otherwise, it's just not possible that we are seeing the same thing. So that's the basis of reality. So I'm not going to go into what you should believe or what whose opinion you should look at. I'm just here to say, look, I believe, and this is the basic premise that we are working off. So cellular memory, how does it even get created? So let me give you an example. Let's say a little child is running along and um, they trip and they fall and they scrape their knee and they twist their ankle and they're really little, and that makes a big impact on them in their little life at the moment. It's a big thing for them. So that has created a cellular memory already because it has been such a strong emotional response. And that's exactly what it is. So, whenever we experience something, whether it's emotional or physical, health related, or whether it's bankruptcy. For me, it happened when well, one of the things that happened was in the global financial crisis, I had to close down my practice because the financial hit was just too much. And that definitely was traumatic. So definitely it's created an imprint in me. But going back to this example of this little kid, this memory of him or her having a fall and hurting themselves, um, going through a huge amount of pain, because for them that is a huge amount of pain, um, and their parents not having been there to prevent this from happening. So, maybe they felt they weren't kept safe, or they weren't looked after, or maybe they felt a little bit let down because the parents didn't stop this in time. So all of this creates a very strong emotional response. And with these emotional responses, there is activity in our brains. There are neurons that fire up. There are neural connections that get formed up in our brain, in the hippocampus, everywhere. And this particular neural response, this connection of neurons that is created in response to this emotional incident, is what creates a memory. Now, the memory, it used to be believed that it was just stored in the brain. But there have been studies, and again, there have been hypotheses. Some people believe, some people don't, different story. Um, but there have been hypotheses that, the memories are not just located in the brain where there are neurons. They have now discovered there are neurons in the gut. Um, we used to say, oh, something happened and I felt it in my stomach. That's the gut response. And the reason is there are neurons there, and these neurons talk to the ones in the brain. So memories are stored not just in the brain, but elsewhere in the body as well. And this, when we say they're stored elsewhere in the body, they're stored within the cells. Now, what is a cell? What does a cell contain? Cells contain a nucleus that is completely made of proteins. There are 4 amino acids that make up the DNA strands: adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. That's it. Doesn't matter what type of cell it is, doesn't matter where the cell is located. If it's a cell, it has DNA. If it has DNA, it has these 4 amino acid sequences. That's the basic building block. So what I'm saying is, and we also know that cells die, cells get reborn, but similar cells. So if a neuron dies in the brain and a new one is formed, it still performs the same function. It's still in the same location. So my belief is all of this is finally, it is stored in molecules. It is stored within the space between the molecules. For those of you who have a little understanding, or you know of science, who've studied atoms and molecules in school or uni, you will know that anything. So say for example, my crystal. Let's talk about this crystal. So this has a physicality to it. I can hold it, I can touch it, I can feel it. It has a shape. But what's going on inside? Inside is all atoms. Atoms are made of the center, the nucleus, and it is made of electrons that are, swirling around the atom, much like our solar system moves around the sun. And there is so much space between the electrons there. So each molecule that's made of different atoms, and there's so much space in there that any object, even though it's tangible, it's made of more space on a subatomic level than actual physical presence. And I believe that our cells are like that as well. So the memories, I believe, and this is like nothing to do with science, this is just, me thinking about stuff and me experiencing stuff and things being revealed to me, ideas coming to me in meditation, etc., etc. But my belief is that, all of these memories, they're really stored in the space in an atom. So it's not stored physically, it's stored in the space. And what is space? Space doesn't exist. Space can't be destroyed. Space can't be created. It's just there, right? So even if our physical body finishes its journey at the end of this lifetime, that space goes nowhere. That space is still going to be there, right? So when we take on another life, our soul decides, oh, I want to learn some more lessons. I'm going to go back to Earth. And we still have access to the memories in this space because that hasn't been destroyed. So that's what I feel happens. And I feel that's why we can access the memories from previous lifetimes. I'm going all over the place a little bit. I had a very tidy um, point by point thing to talk about, but I just kind of sometimes I wander off. So but hopefully it's all still relevant to you all. But that's my theory anyway. So this cellular memory, the cellular trauma that has created this cellular memory, now also has created a karmic bond with the parents. So if this child, again going back to our example of the child, if the child felt that, oh, my parents weren't here to support me, oh, I wasn't supported, I wasn't kept safe, oh, um, that has immediately created a karmic interaction and a karmic bond with the parents for the purpose of this incident. So anytime in this lifetime as the child grows up or another lifetime or other lifetimes, anytime the child experiences um, anytime a child experiences a similar situation, where they fall and where they feel unsupported, it's going back to that original trauma. Okay. And until we go back to that original trauma, find out what caused it and heal it, give it some love, make amends, make peace, at that point, that is going to continue lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. That is how, in my mind, cellular trauma, which creates the emotional response, transfers into a cellular memory, which gets trapped into our cells, and that creates that karmic interaction bond. So if you need to move beyond that, you have to go back to these three key things. What is the karmic bond? What might be the memory associated with it? What is the original trauma that caused it? And heal it at that time when it happened. Now, it could be that this lifetime was not where the trauma originated. It could be that this is just a repeated pattern. This little boy who experienced this incident that I was talking about before, had a fall and, or again, bundled up into or snowballed into, oh, my parents didn't keep me safe and secure and all that sort of stuff, feeling unsupported. It could be that it is a repeat from a previous lifetime. Okay. Um, anytime, oh, I should do this. Oh, my goodness. Um, Let me do this for you. Give me 1 second. Have you all heard the concept of a Mobius strip? I don't know, maybe some of you have. So let me just create. So a lot of us think time is linear. Okay, it's in a straight line and we cannot go back. Time actually is like this. It's a loop, right? So you start that. Yes, Renee, epigenetic prison cells, absolutely. Um, so you start here. Maybe this is where the trauma originated and it wasn't healed. And we keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And again, time brings us back to this point, gives us another opportunity to heal it. Spirit says, hey, you didn't heal it in that original lifetime. I'm giving you another chance so you can get past that and move forward without that being, something that pulls you down, without that being the cement block tied to your foot. If you miss that opportunity, that's okay. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Eventually, you'll come back to the same spot. And that is your another opportunity to go back and look at, hey, what's going on here? Um, can I heal it? Let me see what's going on. Let me see if I can access the origins of this issue and see if it heals, if I'm able to heal it. So this boy that we are talking about, it could be that this might be a repeat lifetime. This trauma might have begun, this feeling of abandonment and insecurity and falling. It could have begun in a previous lifetime, and this is just another lifetime where, the boy might be given another opportunity to look at these feelings. What is the meaning behind this? Now, here's the important thing. The actual trauma, even though the physical trauma was just him falling over, right? And maybe bruise and, sprained ankle, stuff like that. What is trapped in the memory is not that trauma, not the falling over and not the bruise and the sprained ankle. What's trapped in a cellular memory, what has created the karma is the emotional response. Okay. That is what is cellular trapped trauma. That is what creates the karmic um, issues, and that is what we need to heal. That is what we need to access and heal. So there have been, oh, thank you. Um, so how do we know that this could exist, like the way that I've said it, that this memory stays in the cells outside the brain? There is only anecdotal evidence at this point in time. So I was looking at some research articles. I was doing some research for this talk, and I found a few blogs and a few websites that were talking about this, and I made notes. Um, there's a blog that I looked at on the University of Melbourne website, and that talked about a 63-year-old man who was not artistic at all. In 2006, this was, and this person underwent a heart transplant. The donors are anonymous, no idea whose it was, no idea about, the personality or the previous life or whoever the heart belonged to. But following the operation, this 63-year-old man found that his artistic ability had dramatically improved, significantly improved, and he was actually displaying artistic talent. And then afterwards, like this was a sea change, it wasn't in his um, box of tools up until then. And then all of a sudden, heart transplant, yay, I can draw, I can paint, I am artistic. So they looked into it after the fact, and then they found that the organ donor, who the heart belonged to, that organ donor used to be a fantastic artist. And that talent passed on to our 63-year-old man after this heart transplant. So that's one story. There's another one. Ooh, let me get rid of. I've got props all over the place and I can't find space now. Um, there is another example of, well, actually, there was this study that was done in, oh, let me just find my notes here. Things have moved. There was this study that was done in the University of Hawaii by some nurses, by the nursing staff there. I can't find the actual, I've got a few things open here, so I can't find it quickly. But this was a study done by the nurses at the University of Hawaii in Honolulu, and I hope I've pronounced that right. But they they surveyed all the organ transplant people there after the transplant, before and after. And they found that about, oh, maybe I've written it down here. Yeah, I've written it down here. And this study was published in the Quality of Life Research journal. So these nurses, they interviewed 47 patients. So it's not a big cohort, but gives us some idea, a little insight. 15% of those experience slight personality changes. 10 patients, sorry, 6% of them experienced drastic personality changes. Um, sorry, I got my researchers mixed up. So this one that I'm talking about was the quality of life research, and now the one that I will talk about, that is the School of Nursing one at the University of Hawaii. Um, they looked at only 10 patients, so a very, very, very tiny slice of organ transplant people. Um, and they found that they had significant changes in their personality, their taste in food, music, emotional responses, sexual preferences, career preferences. Things drastically changed. So these 10 patients. So again, not a huge cohort, but it is a start. And I always feel, when we are trying to find information here and the science at the moment is not supporting it, I try and focus on that at the moment, the yet part of it. Okay. Science just hasn't caught up yet. We don't know how to measure these things yet. But I just feel and believe that there is a kernel of truth in this, and all of this, there is something to it. Okay, there's no smoke without fire, as they say. There's something to it. We just have to catch up with what it is. Science has to catch up with what it is and how we understand it. So when we, again, going back to karmic issues, so let me give you an example from my own life. How did all this come about for me? So back in 90, or before 97, a couple of years I think, I studied Reiki, and I became a Reiki master teacher, a few years after. But um, I had these two things um, that used to bother me. That was actually something. People used to laugh at me and wonder, like, what's wrong with you? Um, I was afraid of water. I could not swim. I still cannot swim, but um, I did try, and I got to a point where I started to take a few swimming lessons, and I got into the pool. I was able to put my head down in water. So that was one thing at the time. I could not get into water. And the other thing was, and this was like very, very hard for me being Indian, um, where there's, a lot of temple going that happens, and a lot of pujas and rituals and prayers and things. um, I did not like going to temples. I just did not like going to temples. I would go with my family if they did. I would help out, prep for the pujas and rituals at home, but I did not like it at all. I was like, inside, I'd be cringing. And so my Reiki teacher said to me, well, when you're doing your Reiki practice, giving Reiki to yourself, why don't you ask for a resolution for these two things, ask to be shown why and what you can do about it. So I did. And I saw 3 lifetimes. In every lifetime, I had drowned. So one lifetime I had actually, I still remember, it was like a movie, and it had never happened to me before. Um, so it was like a brand new experience. It was like a movie playing in front of my eyes, so vivid, so clear, as if I was there. And this one lifetime I was shown, I was living in a hut on stilts. Um, and there was water flowing, and it was like a round, like a veranda around the living part. And I remember I had long hair up to my knees. Um, and I remember my partner in that lifetime, as I was standing at the edge of the veranda doing something, I don't know what, or maybe just looking out, I got pushed, and I drowned. I wasn't able to get back up. I wasn't able to, for whatever reason. That is one lifetime that I drowned. And like that, I saw 2 other lifetimes where I was drowned unnaturally by someone, holding me underwater. And so voila, that was a revelation. All right, no wonder I don't want to get into water, right? No brainer. So that was one, a personal experience. The second thing was and this might sound really bizarre, the second thing was the temple stuff. I did not like going to temples, and I said, why? And I was shown this lifetime. It's a very recent lifetime because I was wearing a watch on my wrist. So it was very recent, not like yonks and yonks away. Um, but I was in South India, I had flowers in my hair, I was wearing that beautiful sari. I had a ritual platter full of flowers and offerings and everything. And I was walking up the temple steps. No idea where this temple was, but I could see the temple. Um, and as I was going in, so in Hindu temples, you ring the bell as you go into the temple first. So the bell is outside and you ring it. And this temple had this huge brass bell. And as I reached up to ring the bell, for whatever reason, the bell came off the hook, fell on my head, and that was the end of my life there on the steps of the temple that lifetime. So, again, no brainer. I'm like, oh, yeah, if I died, going into a temple, no wonder I don't want to do it again. So, this is my personal experience of um, memories, how that physical trauma translated into an emotional response because it was a shock every single time. Um, and that created karma. So the karma that got created in the earlier story with the person who pushed me into the water and held me underwater um, 3 lifetimes. So that told me, and I felt the energy of the same person, and I felt the energy of that person here in this lifetime. So I kind of knew who that energy belonged to. Um, and the only way that I could get over it, or I could move on, was going back to the source and making amends. What does making amends mean? Making amends means making peace with whatever needs to happen. If it's something that we have done that has hurt someone else, we need to apologize. We need to pay that karmic debt. If it's something someone else has done to us, we may need to forgive them, right? Um, if it's someone we need to acknowledge or reassure, or there is unfinished conversations, we need to complete that. So whatever that unfinished business is, you need to come at it from a place of unconditional love and make peace at that point with whoever that connection is, whoever caused that original trauma. There is no other way. If you do that, that particular karmic connection, that particular karma can get cleansed. Okay. And then that doesn't mean there's nothing else. That, it's just one tiny part of it. And you might say, oh my God, I mean, the thousands of lifetimes, what's the point? Well, let me tell you a story. This is a story from Indian mythology. Shiva, this was the night of Shiva. And Shiva's favorite tree it's a tree called Bale, and it has many leaves. It's a huge, huge tree. Um, and so two seekers, after a lot of meditation, came to Shiva, and one of them said, "Oh, how much longer before I am free from this cycle of birth and death? How much longer to go until I clean and clear all my karma?" And the answer to this seeker was, well, as many lifetimes as there are leaves on this tree. And this first seeker, he got so dejected. He was like, oh my God, that many? What's the point? And he just turned and he walked away. The second seeker got the same answer and he started dancing, dancing for joy because, oh, I have a goal now. I know tangibly, okay, these leaves I can count. So there is an end in sight. It's not infinite. It's not unlimited. It's not like never. As many leaves as are on this tree, great. I can work towards that. I'll just do it one leaf at a time. So a huge difference in responses. And that's exactly how we are in this lifetime. Some of us go, oh, what's the point? Yeah, I'll just go through it. Some of us like to be in victim mode. Some of us like to hold that trauma and that victimhood and that karmic, whatever that is, issue close to us and go, mm, I'm going to hold on to this. I don't want to do anything with it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm not going to make the effort. Forgiveness is too hard. Asking for forgiveness is too hard. Forgiving someone is too hard. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. That's fine. This lifetime, this is the lesson that they have come to learn. Everyone has opportunities. Whether you take it or not is up to you. So I wanted to show you what happens. So this here, this is tea that I steeped. It's now 3 days old, okay? And something really gross. I was hoping that there would be a little fungus or something formed on this so I could demonstrate to you that if you let karma fester, if you just steep the tea in too long, it can turn bitter, it can turn foul. So it hasn't gone that bad, so I can't actually demonstrate to you, but you get the picture. So that's what happens if you don't address the karma lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And spirit goes, oh, I've given so many opportunities, and this person is not taking that chance to heal themselves of this. Um, so I better intensify the challenges. I better intensify the experience. So, they will be forced to look at it, and they will be forced to do something about it. And that's what happens. So that's when the karma tea gets bitter. It's just stayed there for too long. And then it becomes so hard to drink that you really start to notice it, okay, as you drink it. On the other hand, here's my happy tea. So so look, if I pour this out, such a beautiful gold, it's a golden color. What I've got in here, I've got Himalayan goji berries, I've got some honeysuckle flowers, I've got dried mandarin peel. What else do I have in there? I've got a bit of cinnamon, I've got some chrysanthemum flowers, um, and it's been steeping just enough. And so when I drink this, as I was pouring, even the fragrance, the fragrance of the tea was so invigorating and refreshing. Um, that is what we need to do. So we need to get rid of that bitter karma tea, and we need to start looking at making happy tea. And what does that mean? So I had, for example, oh, sorry, let me just turn my heater down. All of a sudden, it's getting hot when I start talking about karma. Everything just starts to heat up. Um, So say, for example, you're looking at what ingredients do you need to make that happy tea? Or you might need to take the help of angels and archangels. You might need to do some Reiki. So, all the ingredients that I put in my happy tea, you can have these sorts of ingredients to help you work with your karma in your karma kettle. So, archangels, Reiki, crystals. We can work with crystals. Make crystals by themselves don't clear karma, but what they can do is help you get to a situation where the layers start to get peeled, you start to get insights, so you can start to figure out what you can do with it. So it could be meditation, it could be Akashic records, it could be shamanic journeys like the ones that I do, and that I facilitate. It could be any number of things, one or more. Okay, one thing might take you to a certain point, and then something else needs to come in there, another ingredient to help you jump a little bit further. So whatever it is, as you heal your karma, as you break the shackles of these trapped cellular memories and trapped cellular traumas, you will be given opportunities. Automatically, they will come before you, and they're yours to pick. They're yours to, if you choose to put them in your tea, um, that's going to help you. That's going to, lead to happy tea for you rather than the bitter tea. So now we are, oh my goodness, how time flies. It's almost 45 minutes. So maybe, and I know we have to wrap up in an hour. So maybe I will talk to you about, um, having spoken about what this is and what we can do about it. Let me give you a little bit of these happy tea ingredients to work with should you want to move forward on your karma clearing journey. So I've got some free gifts for you, and I'll pop that in the chat. So this is a free PDF that you need to download. So you need to actually, I've popped the link in the chat box now. Um, so you need to go to that and you need to, that'll take you to like a form submission. Um, you need to pop your email address and your name in there, and it will allow you to download. So you'll get an email very shortly, and it'll allow you to download this free gift that I've got for you. So this free gift, it talks about 8 ways that you can use to release the trapped cellular trauma and clear the karma. So it's just giving you a deeper insight into some of the things I've just touched upon in this talk. So it will help you understand that you need to, first of all, introspect and search within. What are the repeated patterns within you that are just not shifting? Is it like relationships that keep going the same, same path, unsupported path? Or is it career options, no promotions, you get so far and no further? Or is it that, money comes, but it just goes like a sieve, like going through a sieve. The abundance doesn't stay. So what are these repeated patterns? So take a few minutes to introspect and search within yourself and identify what these patterns are. Once you've identified them, then you can take the next step. Then you can start thinking about, okay, how do I work with this? How do I clear this trauma? How do I go to the origins of this? It could be so many things. It could be that when it comes to abundance, it could be that you might have taken vows of poverty lifetimes ago. It could be like in my case, the relationship, it could be um, that the the pushing me into the water that had a deeper consequence, so where I lost trust in close relationships and romantic partners. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can trust this person, and that can get hard on relationships, yeah, when there is no trust. So, or where you struggle to trust, where you want to trust, but there's always this voice behind, inside of you that going, oh, 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 maybe not, maybe you're making yourself vulnerable. So look at your life, look for all these patterns and put them down on a sheet of paper. And then you can think about, okay, how do I work with this, and this? Okay, maybe I can try meditation for this, or maybe I can try work with Reiki for this, or maybe I can make a crystal grid for this, or maybe I call in the archangels for this, whatever it is. And there is a easier way that combines everything, all of this that I've said to you today. It is the shamanic journey, which personally I find to be the most time efficient and effective way of getting to the root of things and clearing them. So when you download that PDF, in that PDF, there are I've given you the ability so that money is not an issue, especially coming up to the holiday season. I've given you 50 karma clear dollars in there. So if you look through the PDF, you will see you will get 50 karma clear dollars. Now you can use those dollars. There's a code when you download the PDF and you get to the karma clear dollars. You will see that there's a code in there that you can use at my Etsy shop. So if you feel like you want to go down this journey, you want to experience this shamanic crystal dreaming with me um, online on a on camera on a Zoom call, um, you will have that 50 karma clear dollars to use and redeem in my Etsy shop so you can experience this session for yourself. What else I've given you, I haven't stopped there. There is one step, so we need to take one step back. So I spoke about making amends and making peace in this karma clearing process. Now, in order for us to be able to do that, we need to have a clear heart. We need to have our chakras supporting us, all clear, all the cobwebs cleared out from the chakras, so that, our energetic centers are able to support us in opening up our hearts, opening up our energy to do what needs to be done, whether it's forgiveness, asking for forgiveness, giving forgiveness, acknowledging, thanking, um, appreciating, um, whatever needs to be done. Sometimes we need to forgive ourselves. Sometimes the karma is not with anyone else. Sometimes we need to forgive ourselves. So it's approximately 40 minutes long, this karma clearing, this clear cobwebs from your chakras meditation. And it includes a lot of affirmations in there as well to prep you for the karma cleansing journey ahead of you. So that meditation, it's normally 1444 Australian dollars. But for that meditation, you get 10 Karma Clear dollars to redeem. So it's going to cost you only $4.44 Australian dollars. For those of you who are in US, um, the US dollar conversion rate to Australian dollar is in your favor. So it's going to be like, I don't know, $2 something less than the cost of a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So you can buy it for yourself. You can use the Karma Clear dollar code unlimited number of times. So if you want to gift it to your friends, like as a virtual stocking stuffer, you can do that as well. So all of that is in the PDF for you. So I hope you are able to take advantage of it. If any of you have trouble finding it or accessing it, just message me and I'll try and sort that out for you. Now we have I am keeping track of the comments, and so I don't think I've missed any questions so far. But if you have any, just chuck them in the comments now or even later. I'll come back and read the comments, and I'll keep replying over the next few days. What I thought would be a great way to finish this up is do a very quick karma clearing experience. Let's experience a session. So this isn't exactly how my crystal dreaming sessions work, but a little bit similar. So my go-to crystal for any time space journeys is the Iceland spar. I absolutely love this, and it helps us transcend the barriers of time and space. So I'm going to give you all 30 seconds to think of one person that you feel pushes your buttons, triggers you, um, and repeatedly there's this, like, you've tried to patch up things with them. It could be a sibling, it could be an ex-partner, boyfriend, parent, child, colleague, whatever. Isn't it, Renee? Yes, it's one of my favorites. I've got a few of these. Um, so think of this one person that triggers you, that you feel you have some karma with, and we are going to try and clear that now. Or even if we don't clear it, sometimes it can't be cleared straight away, but at least try and get an insight into what that is. All right. So, having thought about that person now, what I would like each one of you to do is transport yourself inside of this Iceland spar cube. Well, it's a parallelogram, but let's call it a cube. So I want you to transport yourself inside of this. So you're sitting inside of this, and this is a safe space. And we are going to have on its four sides, so Archangel Azrael to the south, Archangel Gabriel to the north, Archangel Jeremiah to the west, and Archangel Michael to the east. Below is Archangel Metatron holding space for us, and above is Lord Krishna. In Hindu tradition, he has a lot to do with karma. He recited the Gita, which has so much of karmic knowledge and learning in there. So above is Lord Krishna. I would like everyone to take a deep breath. Make sure you're in a comfortable position. Have both feet on the floor. And repeat after me. Across time and space, I call upon the protection of my archangels and the support of Archangel Azrael, Gabriel, Jeremiah, Metatron, Michael, and Lord Krishna during this journey. I am safe. I am protected. I am loved. And I'm ready to begin my karma clearing journey. Now, while you're inside of this cube, think about the one person that triggers you. And ask Lord Krishna to reveal to you the origins and the reasons for this karmic bond, for this karmic triggering. If appropriate in this short time, ask Lord Krishna to also reveal the origin of the cellular trauma that is trapped, that creates this response and the karmic bond. Lord Krishna starts to play his flute in the background, and as he does, the beautiful, sweet sounds of the flute. And as he does, Archangel Azrael, who holds the doors open for us to go into future lives, and Archangel Gabriel, who holds the doors open to us to our previous lifetimes, see that they're opening these doors and allowing visions, thoughts, feelings to flood through these doors. So you can see the reason for this karmic bond, for this cellular trauma and trigger with this specific person. Turn to the north, open up your senses. Allow images, thoughts, feelings, sensations, knowing to flood in. Take note of what is revealed. What lifetime are you transported to with this person? What do you see around you? What sort of people? Now, turn to the east and continue to see this movie unfold and add to your impressions. Is it another lifetime or a deeper insight into the same one? What was your interaction? What was your relation? Now, turn to the south and have a look. What is the source of the cellular trauma? What is the consequence? Did you hurt them in this previous lifetime? Or did they hurt you? Or was it a bit of both? What amends do you need to make at this point? Do you need to ask for forgiveness? Or do you need to forgive them? Or do you need to forgive yourself? Take a moment to make that peace between yourselves. Say what needs to be said, hear what needs to be heard, and do what needs to be done. Turning to the west, thank this person for traveling through time and space to be here with you and to allow for this healing to occur. Affirm that you have learned all the lessons you needed to learn from this interaction and you're now ready to move forward. Let the person free from all contracts and all agreements. You might have had agreements for them to come into your life so you learn this lesson. Also, you have this opportunity to forgive and to grow spiritually. These reasons can be very deep, so do remember to stay judgment free. Thank them and let them go in peace. Turn back to the south. Turn back to the north. Turn back to the east. Turn back to the west. Look below and look above. And thank the archangels and Lord Krishna for being here with you today and allowing for this experience. When you feel ready, you can step out of this Iceland Spar cube, back into the here and now. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, open your eyes, come back to the here and now. I hope that was helpful. It was quite short because we have limited time here, but there's a replay available so until the end of the month, so you can come back and redo the meditation. Um, Definitely, if you're serious about this karma clearing journey, definitely think about um, taking advantage of the offer that I have for you. Experience a crystal dreaming session, see what comes up. Um, and this activity that we just did, this is great because, it allows us to pinpoint a person or something that we already know about, But in the crystal dreaming sessions, we go even beyond that because there are things that we don't know in this lifetime, right? There's some karma that is not revealed to us. Those patterns may not be revealed to us, but they need to be still cleared. So I did a crystal dreaming session for a client in India recently, and yeah, the usual things that she expected did come up, or things that she requested did come up. But also, what came up was this Egyptian lifetime, and she had no idea about it in her conscious current lifetime memory. But it was so profound, and it was something that so badly needed to be healed. So that came up in the crystal dreaming session. So, it just goes beyond what we, in our limited humanness in this lifetime, can think about. We might think, oh, I need to clear this and that. But hey, there's a whole world, lifetimes beyond that. And crystal dreaming allows you to tap into those. So definitely, if not crystal dreaming session, look at the meditation. Give yourself the gift of clear, fresh chakras going into the new year after this crap we've had over the last couple of years. It's the least you can do for yourself. I do hope to continue this connection with you all, and I do hope that you will follow me and hang out with me in my Instagram. I've got a private Facebook group. I look forward to seeing you there, and we can continue our journeys together. Um, I have really enjoyed this talk. I hope I've made sense. I get carried away sometimes because I'm so passionate about this topic. Um, Thank you once again for being here and taking an hour out of your day to spend time with me. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the year and a very wonderful 2022. Send me a message. And like I said, keep the connection going. Bye.